pandemic, by definition, affects all people, but it doesn't affect them all in the same way. Over the past week, we've seen two countries, Hungary and Brazil, dramatically work to shift their ways of governing in seemingly opposite directions. A crisis is a good time for a power grab. First, some context. Drastic times call for drastic measures, but the decisions made during a national crisis can lead to decades of new policy. When we had kings, the decisions lay with them and their advisors. So the need for powers that exceed normal limits only come with the idea of a constitutional government. In ancient Rome, when confronted with a direct threat to the constitutional system itself, the Roman Senate could decide to appoint a dictator for a period of no more than 6 months. The dictator was appointed not to destroy or replace the existing system, but to save or conserve it. In 1513, Renaissance Italy, Niccolò Machiavelli argued that extraordinary powers could save society. Hence, a prince, in order to hold his position, must acquire the power to be not good, and understand when to use it and when not to use it in accord with necessity. Jump ahead to Germany and the Weimar Republic following World War I. The emergency provisions in Weimar Germany were used over 200 times and may have saved the Republic after the war. But those same provisions were also used by Hitler to consolidate power in 1933. Jump again to 2001. In the United States following 9/11, the authorization for use of military force gave the president permission to wage war without the consent of Congress. And that law is still on the books to this day. So back to Hungary and Brazil. In Hungary, the country has moved towards a dictatorship, as the parliament voted by a 2/3 majority to allow the government of Prime Minister Viktor Orban to rule by decree without a set time limit. Under the new law, people who spread what are viewed as untrue or distorted facts now face several years in jail. Now, some in the EU are crying foul. Former Italian Prime Minister Matteo Renzi said, "I have the right and the duty to say that after what Orban has done today, the EU must act and make him change his mind, or simply expel Hungary from the Union." And Germany's Europe minister said in this tweet, "Pandemic emergency law requires adequate responses, but they must not endanger the rule of law." Now in Brazil, we see something different. President Jair Bolsonaro wants to send people back to work and is willing to make a decree to do so. But governors, state officials, and even the Supreme Court are having none of it. Governors are considering suing the government if the president fulfills his will and signs a decree to allow sectors of the economy back to work. And members of the court said in private discussions that if the president pursues the plan to reopen trade, the measure will be blocked. One Supreme Court judge has apparently even suggested suspending his presidency for 180 days for putting the country at risk. In the end, the pandemic calls the shots. Some societies will ask more from their government and may accept more draconian measures from them on their behalf. Because it is our human nature to live, and because it is the desire of countries and their leaders to protect their self-interests, some will work to plan a takeover. Others will work to recover their rights, and some will sit idly by, waiting to clean up the mess and just get on with it. If you enjoy this content, please click the like button and share, and consider subscribing for more videos. Thank you.